Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Alamjeet Flora. Welcome to the Wednesday Talk Show. This is brought to you by Pothos Events every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Big hello to all our new viewers and all the new joinees. Thank you for sending in your messages. Thank you for motivating us. And we are very excited every week to bring you new topics. And today's topic I know is very dear to many of you. So it is to me. I'm personally going to learn a lot from this guest that we have today. We're going to be talking about plants. Plants are like very integral part of our home. They are like our family. We are, we get moved when one plant or leaf dies off or anything. We're so attached to them, so we want to take more better care of them. And there is an expert. She is Sakshi Grover. She's joining us from Delhi. Sakshi has her own Instagram account, which she's doing amazingly well and helping so many people around. The Instagram account name is The Plant Mom Co. And she is doing this great work. And today she's going to share lots with us. So, welcome, Sakshi, on the Wednesday Talk Show. Hi,
Thank
Sakshi.
you so much.
Hi. Welcome
Hi.
to the Wednesday Talk Show.
How are you, Alamjeet? Thank you so
I'm
much for
very
inviting
good.
me.
Very good. Nice to see you. And today we are going to take out a lot of information from you. I know all the mothers, all the ladies, even the men are very interested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, Sakshi, before we start, please tell us about your journey and what you're doing and your journey in the Plant Mom Co.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I am based out of Delhi, as you mentioned in my profile, and I'm working as a research cloud analyst with a US giant. So I am an IT corporate by nature, by profession. However, plants are something that has been in our family since very long. I remember I was 2 years old, and my grandfather was the one who got me into gardening. So there's a park behind our house, and all the trees in that park that my grandfather has planted, and they are huge
Wow.
trees now. So
Okay.
yeah,
Great.
that was the passion. I mean, I quickly picked it up, and I saw my parents helping me out, and my grandparents are helping me out in gardening. And that was when, after so many years, and we had so many plants in our house, then the pandemic hit us. And I was
Oh, yeah.
like super bored. I kept on trying different Instagram accounts, but nothing worked for me. Like, you have this dream of creating a meme account, or you have a dream
Yeah.
of creating a food
Reels.
blog, becoming a food blogger or a fashion blogger, and whatnot, but
Yeah.
nothing worked out. And then there was this one day back in 2020 July, I think that's when I started my page, and I posted a couple of pictures, and I saw the reaction I was getting from the audience. And I
Wow.
was doing nothing. I was just posting the pictures from what I have in my house, and people were responding. People were interested to know more about it. And I
Yes.
told you, right? We see a lot of plant parents and plant profiles that are going and happening outside India. But in
True.
India, this trend is quickly picking up. We have plant stylists outside of India, but there are landscaping stylists within India. There's no
Yes.
plant stylist within India as of now. So
True.
I thought, yes, these people are interested. There's a new profession out there that is
Yeah.
completely focused on gardening. And that's where I decided I'm going to continue with this. And whatever I've learned in so many years and whatever my family has learned, I'm just going to put it out there. So
Wow.
that's how I started Plant Pomco.
Fantastic. You found the gap and you've niched it now. So
Yeah,
good. Kudos to
trying.
you. I know many of us are always looking out for help. We
Yes,
Google, we do a lot of things, but it's very nice when someone has actually gone through the process and can help you that what
right.
alternative you can do. So
Yeah.
superb. Yeah, that is good. And your Instagram account, I'll ask all my viewers to go and have a look. She's doing an amazing job. You'll get all your tips over there. So yeah. And what are the challenges like a house plant, owner can have, and how can we take care of our plants better?
Right, right. So actually, this is a very good question. I Every day I log in into my Instagram account, I see that there are so many DMs that have come, and people are sharing their plant pictures with me and asking me how can we make it better, because either their leaves are turning yellow, or their
Yeah,
plant is dying, or their plant is thirsty, and they are just looking for a way out how to rescue it. And they
true.
are so stressed out at that time, they just want somebody to help them quickly.
Yes.
But that doesn't happen. Nature is a very patient
Slow.
process.
Yeah, patient.
Whenever you sow a seed, it takes approximately 1 month for it to grow into a plant, at least to start
Yes.
showing the leaves, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, these are some of the challenges they face. They ask me about leaves turning yellow. They ask me which fertilizers, which nutrients shall we supply to the plant, what constitutes a good soil mix, what
Yes.
kind of house plants I can buy, what is
Right.
the sun direction, the water frequency that I should keep in mind. And there are people who are very beginners and they are like very scared of being a plant parent. They are like, tell me the top easiest plants, like five easiest plants I can just have it in my house and I don't have
Yeah.
to care about it. So yeah, these are just some of the challenges that they face, and I'm happy to help them wherever I can.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, there are many strugglers like you call green fingers. Not everyone has those. It is very rare. And many of us really struggle, to keep a plant healthy and all that.
Yep,
So,
yep.
which group of plants then you will say is hassle-free to keep for a beginner
Right,
if they want to begin? So, what will be that?
right, right. So I'll tell you the top five that's coming to my head, and then I'll tell
Mhm.
you some of the characteristics they have. So you have to be very
Yeah.
cautious about it.
Okay.
Uh, so the first one is definitely the money plant. The
Mm-hmm.
common name money plant, otherwise we call it pothos, right?
You see that? Photos.
Yeah. Do you see it trailing?
Yeah.
Every family has a pothos. If you don't have a pothos, then I'm not sure how you are taking care
Exactly.
of your garden and connecting to the nature. Yeah, and the next one is definitely Sansevieria, which we call as snake plants. Snake
Mhm.
plants are like really low maintenance and they require less amount of light as well. And the water frequency is also very, like you can just water them once in a week or probably once in 2 weeks and they will survive. Definitely they will
Okay.
survive. And they grow very quickly. So yeah,
Okay.
snake plants. And then you have dracanas. In India, we
Mhm.
call them Song of India.
Okay.
So they have very amazing patterns and they are coming out of a common bark, and then they are just unfurling themselves. So
Oh.
again, a very easy plant to maintain. And these are one of those plants, like whatever I'm saying right now, they are those plants that I ignore them. I've been
Mhm.
ignoring them and they are growing. So I'm very happy with the plant care I'm doing.
Yeah, low maintenance.
Very low maintenance.
Good.
And what else? Now you have do you know peperomia? Okay, in fact, jade plants. Jades are
Okay.
tiny succulents that people can plant.
Mhm.
And then you have peperomia, you have aglonema. Aglonema is famously known as red lipstick. So
Okay.
it's a very bright colored, they have very bright colored leaves. So yes,
Mhm.
these are some of the plants that you can take care of. Now, when I was talking about the characteristics, this is something that's very interesting, right? So
Mm.
we call it money plant and we call it pothos. But
Yeah.
actually, money plant, there are 10 varieties of money plants.
Yeah.
There are blue marble, you have neon money plants, you have, marble queens, you have golden pothos, and so on. So you have to be very careful on which is the pothos that you're going to buy, right? Because
True.
neon, marble queen, jade pothos, and golden pothos, they are the easiest to maintain. And then you have sansevieras, the snake plants, right?
Yeah.
There are seven varieties of snake plants. You have
Okay.
cylindrical, you have starfish, and so on and so forth. But the common snake plant that you see is the one that's lowest maintenance. So
Yeah.
whenever you see a plant, whatever I do is I just open my Google Lens, I
Mhm.
click a picture and I see which kind of plant it is. Then I Google it up and I see what are the properties, what are the characteristics. This is
Okay.
how I determine whether it's a low maintenance plant or not.
Okay. Would you like to share any website to with our viewers that you can go to check out? Do you recommend any website?
Just general Google. I
Just
wouldn't
general
recommend a
Google.
website, but yeah,
Okay.
just do a general Google search. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah,
fantastic. Okay. And snake plant is the one that's that long leaf, right?
yeah,
It's
the long leaves, the long
those.
sturdy leaves with yellow edges.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So these are like totally put it and forget it. That's
Put
good.
it and forget it. Yes. Jab
Yeah.
yaad aaye tab water it, right?
Yeah, yeah, and there is a struggle of how much water and how much sunlight,
Right.
like you mentioned earlier also.
Yep.
So there's always this some plants feel no low maintenance, but they don't
Mm.
need sunlight. I have experienced that in my house.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so those you need to really figure out.
Yep.
And what are the, not must not do with the plants, like to take care of them, what you should not do?
Oh, please don't overwater them. All right. So,
Yeah.
okay, when we were talking about the water frequency, what
Mhm.
I do is if I am unsure about how much do I need to water the plant, I just wet the topsoil. That's it. So if
Okay.
you're really unsure, just do that. However, if you there are plant parents who have a hang of they have been maintaining a water cycle, which plant needs to be watered how many times and what part of the day. Because in
Hmm.
summers you need watering 2 times in a day, but in winters just once in a week would also do. Right? The water
Okay.
retention increases in winters. So
Yes, yes.
do not overwater your plants at all. And there were times when I was really unsure, especially with my succulents, because it's
Mhm.
so easy to overwater a succulent and then see it die in front of you. What I
Yeah.
did was I bought a pH meter. So pH meter is the one
pH.
that tells you pH meter, yeah. It tells
Okay.
you the acidity, it tells you the water level, and it
Mhm.
tells you the moisture content. So
Wow.
once you put that meter in the pot, you can
Mhm.
see how much is the moisture content that is there inside the plant. So
Okay.
depending on that, you can decide whether it's really low, then water it. If it's not low, then don't water it. So whoever are the beginners can definitely go with the
This
pH
is a
meter.
very good tip. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Good.
There's one more actually that I would like to tell them, because people nowadays are really into buying fertilizers and
Yeah.
nutrients that are very artificially created. They just go on Amazon, they see
Mm.
the first thing that they see there, and they just immediately buy it without even looking at the properties of the fertilizer.
True.
So I think they are the ones, because these fertilizers have root stimulants into them, and it can actually harm the plant rather than benefit the plant.
Oh,
So
okay.
while I was starting, what I used to do, I used to research a lot about plant properties and what are the nutrients that are beneficial for them.
Yeah.
And I saw that there are only four nutrients that you really have to care about. It's
Mm-hmm.
magnesium,
Okay.
nitrogen,
Mm-hmm.
potassium, and phosphorus. That's
Okay.
it. Every plant can survive on these four nutrients. There's starch as well. So what we used to do is, and this has been happening since my childhood at my home, and unconsciously I grasped that best practice, and now I'm emitting it to the audience. But what
Wow.
we used to do is, whenever we used to cook pasta or we used to cook rice or we used to cook chickpeas, the
Mm-hmm.
water that was left behind was full of
Mm-hmm.
starch and full of nutrients. We just
Right.
used to put that water in our plants.
Oh,
And that
yes.
was something that subconsciously it came to me that yes, actually that's the reason why we are doing it. And then
True.
I tried with coffee, and then I tried with banana peels, and then what I did was chickpeas, I said, then there's
Mhm.
black beans. So yeah, these are some of the things that you make in your house. And then there's green leaf. Whenever you're making tea, whatever
Yeah.
is the residual that's left, and the tea does not have ginger in it, you just
Mm-hmm.
put that residual in your jade plants and in your pothos, and it's
Oh,
really
wow.
beneficial for them. So
Okay.
whatever's the waste material that you have, do not throw
Mm-hmm.
them off. Just put it in your plants, and then
Okay.
you'll see the magic.
That's a great tip. Like you make this compost, it's very much like what you are
Yep.
saying,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
banana leaves, you said, how do you, like, you just throw it in the plant, or what do you do of the banana
Okay,
leaves?
no, right. So not banana leaves, the banana peels.
Peels,
So
yeah, sorry.
whenever, yep. So whenever we have like a good amount of banana peels, like 5 or 10 banana peels, what we do
Mhm.
is we take an airtight container, we
Uh-huh.
put some water in it, we put the banana peel, and we keep it like that for 2 days.
Okay.
After 2 days, we strain the water and we put it in plants.
Wow.
That's it. All the
So
magnesium, all
doable.
the potassium content is consumed by the water.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
fantastic tip, and so doable. We have bananas
Yeah.
all the time in our house, and
Right.
we have a question also coming from Disha. Any tips about tulsi, as it's a kind of basil, and as much as I know, I can be wrong, basil needs a lot of sunlight, and we hardly get any sunlight here. How to maintain healthy tulsi without sunshine? Yeah, we
Wow.
struggle with the sunshine, especially in winters now. We
Mm-hmm.
hardly have the sun. So how do we
So
maintain this?
yeah, so first of all, yes, Tulsi is a basil. Tulsi is actually called holy basil.
Yeah.
And yes, it does need a lot of sunlight. But how do you define a lot of sunlight? Do you get like 2 to 3 hours of morning sun?
No.
Not even
Sometimes
that.
no. If it's a gloomy day, it's cloudy the whole day. So you don't really get that sunlight. Sun is
Right.
somewhere.
Okay, so can you maybe try keeping it near the direction where the sun rises?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever it's the right weather, maybe it catches the sun and then it happens. But yes, it does need a lot of sunlight, and preferably try with all the fertilizers that I've mentioned right now, the natural fertilizers. Rice water is a very beneficial nutrient for tulsis,
Okay. So
but
when
it's
you do,
really sad that there's no sunlight.
yeah. See, you Indians, like we are also Indians, but people in India, we take the sun for granted. We realize the value here.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
actually
so,
have defined four corners in my house. So
yeah.
one is where I only get filtered sunlight
Mm-hmm.
through a window pane. One is where I get direct sunlight in the morning. Then I
Okay.
have direct sunlight in the afternoon, and then I have direct sunlight in the evening. And I've placed my plants according to them,
Oh,
according to the sunlight they need.
okay. Disha is sharing with us. She says it is on the window, her tulsi. It was
Hmm.
kept under artificial sunlight as well, but she says in the next message that it has died.
Oh
So
no. Oh,
that's
all
very
right.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe Disha, you can try with rice water once and just keep it in the sunlight direction itself. In winters especially, plants tend to die. However, do not lose hope at all, because the moment March and April hits, you will see the results, and have patience. That's it. To every plant parent, this is my common message. Give your plants some time to grow. Do not give up. At least 2 to 6 months is what I would recommend.
Okay. Good. Thanks. Like I also struggled. I had some, her plant at least grew. My seeds did not even sprout. So I was only
Oh.
watering them and they were not growing. So
That
yeah.
that's not a problem. It's not a
Disha's
problem with your
question is
cycle.
the same. She's saying, I have few seeds of tulsi. Any tip to use them to get perfectly growth?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. That's what I was coming to. In fact, that it for Alamjit, you it might be that the seed has a fault in its own. It was not meant to grow. There's a
Oh,
statistics that's commonly known that if you plant 50 seeds, there's a probability that only one will turn out into a blossom.
oh,
So
okay.
that's how low the probability is. And
Mhm.
for can you tell me, Risha, what kind of soil are you using? Is it like the natural soil along with the natural manure, or is it something else that you're using? And
Yeah.
basically, for basil, what I would recommend is that a lot of plant parents, they try to mix perlite, coir, and bark and charcoal into their soil mix. But for
Mhm.
tulsi, I prefer, and there are some that they prefer growing it in lika as well, which are clay based substitutes. But I personally prefer the common soil that's available along with the common manure.
Okay. Okay. Disha says
Okay.
we bought special soil for plants. So,
Okay. Just
so
have a
you
look at
are
its constituents. That's it.
okay. So you recommend normal soil and use rice water.
Rice water, and add manure as well. That's very important. I'm not sure how commonly it's available in the plant stores
No,
there.
it's available. We have
Yeah,
a good, in fact, very good shops with
right,
good soil, over here. A
right.
lot of variety in soil. So she doesn't know any name of the soil, she says. I know. This
The
is this
soil
is
does not actually have a name. It's just the particles that constitutes it. So you check for perlite, you check for coir, you check for bark. But these are some things that I would recommend that, just don't do it, because for me, you have to create your own best practices. For me, the common soil and the manure and all the natural fertilizers have been working really well so far. But considering that you have low sunlight there, I would really suggest that you research more upon it and try to understand the properties of the soil that you are having right now in your house, and then decide.
okay. And change the pot and make it bigger or something like that, or
Yep, that is like Alamji just showed me your plants in the back,
Yeah.
right? So if you see that there's a stunted growth, that is probably because the roots are not getting enough space to,
Hmm.
spread apart. And that is
Right.
where actually that is where I also decide to repot my plants. And especially it's a very common with plants like basil and money plant and wandering juice. You have Bolivian juice. They grow fast. So
Hmm.
that is where you need to keep on repotting it into a better space.
Okay. Thank you. Lovely tips. Thank you. Thank you. So, can you share even more tips on soil? Of course, we are talking and about, fertilizers also, because which ones to use, which ones will be good
Yeah,
for us.
these were all that I had to name about because these are
Okay.
the natural fertilizers that I've been using and they've been doing really well for me. However, there are times when mealy bugs come into play, and you
Yeah.
see those small white spider kind of things that are going around in your plant, and they kind of rot it completely because their spread is so fast. They
Mhm.
multiply in their eggs, and that's where the plant dies completely. So that is where I use neem oil. Neem oil is a very good substitute. You don't need to buy any artificial fertilizers. Just
Okay.
put 4 drops of neem water in, let's say, 500 ml of water.
Okay.
And neem oil, 4 drops of neem oil in 500 milliliters of water, and that's it. You just shake it up and you spray it all across your plant.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that at that time when you are spraying the neem oil mixture, the plant is not under direct sunlight, because that actually neem oil reacts with the sunlight and affects the plant. So keep it in the shade,
Mm-hmm.
spray neem oil mixture, and then after, neem oil actually suffocates the pests that are there. So
Yeah.
that is where after 2 days you just wash off your plants. Try if you can change the soil mix, but otherwise this has worked perfectly. So these
Okay.
are some of the problems that plant parents face a lot about pests.
All right. Thank you. And we are talking about plants and fertilizers and all, but plants have this different quality also to them, and they play this role of healing.
Yep, yep.
So what do you have to say about this role?
When you sow a seed and you see the first leaf, it's another level of high. You
Yeah,
get a vibe that, wow, I grew this, like, when you're giving birth to a baby and you
right.
you feel that, another level of vibe just empowers you to take care of it with all your might. That is what happens when you see your plant grow, because you feel that you have magic in your hands, and
Yeah,
it has blossomed and you are doing something good for the nature, because we humans have exploited the earth like anything with our digital transformations, with our technology progressing every day. And this is where it's just one tiny step on your part. So, in a holistic picture, you actually
yeah.
see that you are contributing a lot to the community. You are being sustainable. That's another level of magical vibes that you get.
True, true, true. Very true. And like you rightly pointed out, it's so satisfying seeing it grow, seeing that first flower come, and those new leaves come. It's a different joy, incomparable.
Yeah.
So yeah, very true. And also, I know that Sakshi, you are studying about plant psychology.
Yes.
So this was very interesting. That's why I'm putting this question to you. So please tell us, what is this?
So, a couple of months back, I was just navigating Google and I saw an author speaking about plant psychology. And you have so many streams in psychology. You have clinical psychology, you have forensic psychology, you have crime investigation psychology, and I
Yeah.
am like, wow, there's a concept called plant psychology as well. And I kept on reading, and basically, it's not a proven scientific research,
Okay.
but there are authors who have spoken a lot about it, and this dates back to 1600 BC. So
Mm-hmm.
people are studying about plant psychology a lot. Basically, it says when when you are dancing in front of a plant, or you are talking to a plant, or you are
Mm-hmm.
listening music and making it listen to music, and you are basically surrounding your ecosystem with good vibes, it
Yeah.
affects the plant health a lot.
Yes.
They carry the notions, they carry the photosynthesis vibes along with them into their root system. And
Wow.
this is something that's very on a philosophical level because there's no scientific proven research on it. However,
Mm.
this is something you just have to believe upon, because I see in my family that we all together during summers we go to our terrace and we are talking and we are laughing and we are dancing at times. And then sometimes I realize, is this the reason why my plants are so healthy? Because I'm sending them good vibes.
Good. Yeah.
And then there was this experiment that I tried, and it was also written in that research. No plant can survive on on alone, like in itself. Like if you have a plant, you have to pair it up with another pot. If there's
Okay.
only a single pot that's there with only one plant, there's a
Mhm.
high chance that it might die. And
Oh,
since then, I have been pairing my plants everywhere.
okay.
So either it's a mini jungle or it's a combination of two or three plants. I never keep a plant alone.
Very interesting. This I
Yep.
never knew. Like it's just common. We put one pot here, one pot there. But of course, I have realized now that you say I have lost a few plants when I put
Yep.
them single. Okay.
Me too, yeah. And that is where I thought that maybe I'll start pairing them up. We
Yeah.
have a question, right?
We have a question from Tuhina. Hello, ma'am. Is there any tips for orchid? And once the flower is gone, how to reflower once the plant is alive? Yeah. It's
You know,
these.
this is a very common problem with flowering plants,
Yeah.
especially dahlia in India. Dahlia is very similar to orchid, and once we lose a flower, it's very hard to reflower them until you wait for the entire season.
Yeah.
And I have a plant here called Celiosa coxcomb. It resembles the shape of a rooster. They only bloom in winters. That's it, only for 2 months. So just keep on trying to take care of the plant, water it rightly, but the results will anyways be seen after a year because they are seasonal flowering plants. And that's much the same way with orchids.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
why we just see them now and then we don't see them because they
Yes.
are so beautiful. I
Yep.
think we are more happy seeing them because we see them after such a long time. And
Yeah.
it's taken all our patience waiting to see them
Yep.
bloom. And then when they bloom, I think we're just so elated by the whole experience. And then they
Right.
go away for a long time. Yeah, I know. Thank you so much, Sakshi, for today. And before you leave us, is there any message from you to all our plant moms over here?
I think I'll just have one message for them, that whenever you see a plant dying or a yellow leaf appearing, please do not distress yourself. Nature was never supposed to be perfect. Humans are not perfect. How can you expect the nature to be perfect, right? Just
True.
have a lot of patience and do not carry away whatever you see others doing or whatever you see on Google. You create your own best practices. You are doing something on day one. Okay, after 1 month, you realize this is not working. Change your practice. Try something else and see whether it works for you or not. So you know your plants the best. No one else does. Do whatever best you can do within your economical budget, within whatever you have in your surroundings in your household. That's it.
Yeah. Wow, lovely message. And keep following Sakshi on the Plant Mom Co. And she's going to keep, guiding you through. So thank you. Thank you, Sakshi, so much for
Thank
today.
you.
And we'll see you soon, okay?
Yes, thank you so
Bye.
much for inviting me. Bye bye.
Welcome. Pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, so that was Sakshi. I hope you got lots of your tips today. Keep sending her messages on her Instagram profile. She's very active there, and you may get much more information than we could share today. And next week, we are having Anushta. She's joining us on the topic of medical yoga. So she is dealing with a lot of interesting things. She's a gold medalist in yoga, and she's going to be, talking about how it can help you in multiple ways. So join us next week. Have a wonderful week ahead. See you guys. Bye.